Hi, everyone. Welcome to another episode for our second episode, actually, for Conscious Parenting and Goodbye Bullshit, Hello Happiness. Last time you got a chance to meet Deanna and Hillary. And today we have Angelique with us. She wasn't here last time. So, Angelique, we're just going to give you the floor for now. Tell us a little bit about yourself and your daughter and your parenting side, whatever you want to share with the audience.
Sure thing. So I'm Angelique, in my early 40s with a single mother. I should say a single woman raising a daughter because her father is very, very active in her life, lives 2 miles away. So very active, have a great relationship with the father. She is 13. Fan self years old, about to enter into the eighth grade. So at that pivotal age where everything is just growing and maturing very rapidly. And my parenting style is guide without by putting guardrails up, allowing them to make mistakes, learning from their mistakes, but again, guardrails up just so that I can provide, the parenting guidance, making sure that they don't stray too far to the left or to the right. Um, and so I like to keep things pretty transparent, but at the same time, age appropriate. So that's really my parenting style. I'm not her best friend, but I am friendly, open to where I feel that she could come to me with just about anything without judgment.
Nice, nice.
Thank you.
Elle is not with us today, but I think maybe the next time around, next month, you get to have the full group next time around. So today, I think we wanted to talk to you guys about the challenges that are out there right now facing our kids. And I know for each one of us, especially again, we have different age kids. And I think Angelique is the only one that has a girl. The rest of us have boys. But so we all worry about them in a little different way. And so I wanted to open up to you guys. Maybe we'll go top of the screen to Deanna. Tell us about what are your worries right now. I know you're sending Elijah off to college. He just came back for a couple of days, spending it his the university he's going to. But for you, what are the worries right now? At that college age, and he's going away from home.
Um, I don't know what to expect, and I think that's the part of parenting, and I probably will yield much of my time to others. Meaning, I have my worries, but they're broad. Um, the biggest one is actually more about letting go, right?
Mm.
You spend 18 plus years, if you include the womb time, just taking care of them, sending good energy, putting up those guardrails. I love that, Angelique. Um, Trying to figure out a balance. And then kind of overnight, I mean, we do have like 6 weeks, but overnight, it's not like I'm going away, but my say in it goes down to a very, very low, if
Mm-hmm.
any, percentage. And that alone can leave you, gasping for air, in the middle of the night with all the thoughts that you can have. Elijah's a wonderful kid. We've had an open relationship. We're close as a family. So, but now he's got to make his own choices, and I just got to step to the sidelines. So there's a lot. He's very aware. He's been educating me on so many things that I'm not aware of that are an intimate part of his generation. Um, um, but again, I think I'll just yield my time, even just to say that it's just me letting go and trusting the universe and trusting in his choices and his choosing. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's true for most of us at any age. I think that's the biggest challenge for any parent. But yeah, for you, it's definitely like in your face now. You're like, he's not there at all.
No, no. 2 days gone, and I was like, oh, this is going to be a big adjustment for him. Got back to the house, and I was like, yeah, this is going to be a big adjustment for me. That's what's going on here. So,
yeah,
but
no.
I think this generation they've got a lot to grapple with. They're gifted in so many ways, and they're just vulnerable because they have so much coming at them. You know, whether it's, you know, he's got a friend who's a beautiful friend who is is stepping out and stating himself, actually not himself, they, and we're getting to know that and flubbing it up every time we see them, you know, changed his name and everything. And their friend group is totally open, supportive, and present for that. Um, and that's just the tip of the iceberg. I mean, that's a powerful self-affirming thing to do at any age, let alone at 18. So anyway, it's I'm encouraged, and I just want to be present to offer whatever support I can, because I know there's just a lot for them to figure out these days.
Sure. Hillary, what about you? What are some of your worries? I know, uh, yeah, you got a high schooler, so mine is entering that one next year. Next year, I'll be right there. But so, what are some of your worries, and what are happenings over in your life?
So before I dive into that, I wanted to say to Angelique, I love your parenting style comment, and I was thinking, yeah, I guess I do that. And I'm like, what would I say if someone asked me what my parenting style is? I would probably say like haphazard and inconsistent, and if I was going to be honest. But the guardrails are so important, and those came into play this past weekend. So it was Pride this week at the celebrations, and we were supposed to go to march in the Pride parade. My son, as just a reminder, is 16 and a half. I'm going to still keep counting that. And we've been through a school shooting over here, the 2019 STEM Highlands Ranch school shooting. And while we were not impacted in the way some families were directly, we were still directly impacted in a way that was very traumatic for us. And I thought we had kind of worked through a lot of that with therapy and EMDR and things. But when we started hearing what was happening in Norway, the riots in Idaho, Roe versus Wade, I sat down with them. I was like, do you feel comfortable marching in the parade? Like, I'm just, my anxiety is kind of getting the better of me here. So when you talk about worries, I mean, it's a real worry for us of what could happen. The shootings in Texas, and I don't mean to, anyway, shootings in Texas and in Buffalo. So we decided to go to the Pride Festival itself. We got there. He was really excited. He bought a Pride flag, and you had it tied around his neck. And we started walking through just immense amounts of crowds, and there's music thumping, and then there's sirens and all this stuff. And, you know, it was about 20 minutes, and I look at him, and he's kind of like just looking shell-shocked. And he asked if we could leave. So we left. He said he was having a panic attack, which is what started happening after the school shootings. But this was the first time since the first set of them. And we're driving home in the car. He's driving. Still makes me nervous. And I was like, you're really quiet. You know, do you want to talk about anything? And he said, well, you know, I'm kind of processing, like, why did I want to go to the Pride Festival? And can I get what I wanted out of the Pride Festival in a different way that doesn't scare me? And I was like, are you my child? Like, that was very grown up. Right. And so that was a moment of understanding that you have worry, but then understanding they're on their own journey, and that you're there to support them.
Yeah. Nicely said. Nicely said. I agree. Angelique, what about you?
Gosh, kudos to your son for like having so much self-awareness at such a young age. I mean, that's crazy. That's awesome. That's beautiful. Mom, how did you do that?
A lot of therapy.
That's great.
I mean, for me, not him.
That's amazing. Again, I'm working with a 13-year-old girl right now, so it's interesting in that I do get some of the story, but then it's the door closed on the phone. hey, what's going on? Get out of my room. So I remember when I was at that age of 13, I was kind of the way that same way. Of course, it's not a cell phone. It was the phone with the long cord that stretches from the hallway into my bedroom. So they were able to monitor my calls that way. But I think that is one of my fears is that, yeah, although she is open with me, I feel like there is still, how can I put this? Some things that are kept off to the side just for her friends, the privacy, um, the cell phone. So again, growing up in the 80s and 90s, we could make mistakes. We could do all the goofy things. It wasn't recorded. It wasn't videotaped. It wasn't broadcast, across, whatever social medium the kids are using today. I mean, they're not even on Facebook or Instagram. They're on something else that I don't even know. So I want to say, like, just being able to, again, the overstimulus, Hillary, that you mentioned, it feels like they're overstimulated. Number two is, although they're open with us, how open is open? Are they just giving us 25% of what's really going on? I just have to trust that my daughter is making smart decisions, that we I don't want to say expose her, but we allow her to see things, again, age appropriate, but able to talk through the rights and the wrongs. And again, those guardrails, so that if she does come across it, whether it's on her phone, a text message, even when she's out with her friends, because at 13, they girls start going to the mall together without the parents. So making sure that she's making right choices if approached by, if her group's approached by someone or whatever the case may be. So I'm putting forth a lot of faith in, like, the parenting that I've done up to this point, but also faith in the village that also helped raise her too.
Yeah, that's good. That's good to have the support. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
For me, it's interesting. I was thinking about it. I think over the years, I've had so much of my worries come to my faith already with him. So I think right now, and I had to let go and let go and let go. And he's what, 14 and a half. And at this time, I don't have really worries for him per se, because he communicates, he tells me his emotion, he tells me everything. Sometimes I'm like, dude, too much information. I don't need to know everything. But at the same time, I think when I see the things that's happening around them and in the world, those are the things that worries me more than anything else, like the school shootings. And I have to sit there and say, why do they even have to have drills for this? Isn't this, I know it's become norm, but I'm hoping for a future that they don't have to have those drills. And he tells me, like, at different times this past year, showing me videos of kids getting together and they're, after school. And I know, again, Diana and I have talked about this. It's been there, but I think it's a little bit more constant, like on a weekly basis. I'm seeing videos of kids fighting and beating each other. And like, he was telling me, like, some kids brought like box cutters to school. Yeah. So, and it's just things like that more than, and again, what's happening in the world in general with the policy change, everything. And I think the bigger picture, I worry for all of them, that what is this generation gonna end up? And then, when my worry comes, like you guys said, I'll just bring it back to trust that hopefully this is the generation that's going to change things. I have hope for them that maybe this is the reason it's this way for them, is that they are that powerful to make those changes that their parents before them couldn't. So hopefully they're the ones that change this world, and we'll see what happens. But yeah, I know for us too, like you said, Hillary, he has anxiety and he comes and shares with me like the school shootings is like, what am I going to do when this happens? I'm like, the procedure in place, I'm going to come. So we go through that stuff when his anxiety comes, we just talk it out. About the kids getting involved, that they meet after school, talking to him about that. Is he worried? So again, open communication, like all you guys said, open dialogue. But yeah, my worry is the world out there, what's going on. But gotta trust and hope.
But I think you nailed it though, in that all of that's happening and more. And in our time, all of that was happening. Not the same way. I don't think with the same level of intensity or the same level of access.
Mm-hmm.
Meaning that, if you had someone beaten up down the street, it was on your street.
Mm-hmm.
Now you can go onto any media platform and see it. So it's in your face.
Mm-hmm.
Awareness is great, but it's also triggering things. And my point, as I know we're showing time, is just I think the key does lie within them. And to whatever extent they do choose to share themselves with us, being able to be present, having that community that Angelique referred to, having the conversations that you and Hillary referred to. I know my son is only sharing a portion of himself with me because when I hear him with his friends, it's different.
Mm-hmm.
But that's okay. I'm different with my friends too than I was with my parents.
Yeah.
But so I just think Hillary's son gave us a brilliant example of what this generation is really about. And I admire them for their truth, even in sharing their pain, but also their strength. And I think that is what's going to give us a hope to deal with all the other stuff that's going to be happening around them.
Yeah. Hillary, you had something, I thought.
No, well, she's making me a little clamp. Well, I was going to say that and the penny glass of wine. That's going to help.
Yes.
Ooh, I think we should have a glass of wine for this show. I'm just saying.
It's on my mind. I'm gonna make the penny glass and ship it out to you guys, and we're gonna bring it in these calls with us.
My poor mother.
But yeah, I think you're right, and they are more aware. The kids are much more aware than we were, and because they see a lot more, they have access to a lot more, and they're more open and accepting of things. And I think for a lot of things, I was thinking, if the adults get out of the way, and like you guys have all mentioned, just have the guardrails there, be present. But if we stay out of their way, I think they'll do much better, because most of the complaint that I hear are like any generations that, like, the parents don't get them. But I think for these guys, it's just like it's moved so fast, so much that and they are more aware than any other generations I've seen. So
I would definitely agree. Do you, just a question to everybody, do you find yourself, and I've done this his whole life, I'm like, okay, all right, so when you get to be this age, you want to make sure, like, I'm trying to like take all my lessons learned and just stuff them into his little head. Okay. And he's like, oh my gosh, and then I don't know what my purpose is with that. Like, just hoping he would learn from my words, which, that's not going to work.
Yeah. Go ahead.
No, Angelique, I don't know if I took off my glasses because they're fogging up. I'm having hot flashes for anyone who noticed that. I'm just like, so I can't see y'all right now, just for the record. So if somebody else wants to talk, I just wanted to clap. Yes to everything you said, Hillary.
Angelique, what do you got to say for that? And I'll go ahead and share my information.
I'll let you go ahead and share first, and then I'll piggyback off.
I actually figured a long time ago, if I tried to stuff him, he'll just like say, back the hell off, because it's just, and I had to learn, it goes back to what I said. They've moved so fast. They're moving and they're more aware so fast. A lot of times the words have just not even come out, and he knows everything. And I've tested him. Like, what do you mean you know already? How do you know what I'm going to say? He's like, you want me to repeat it? And every time he says, you want me to tell you what you're going to say, he's been right on point. He's been right on point. And I'm like, touche. Okay, I'll go shut up now. But for me, my own experience with him, there were just few things, just because of what I knew of his personality, that I wanted to make sure he knew. Like the different, since fourth grade, I've been having sex conversation with him at, again, age appropriate, where now it's like everything. I've talked to him, like only yes means yes. Anything else means no.
Yeah.
Or about drugs and alcohol and all those things. And recently, I was, to my surprise, I mean, like, I've never said don't drink or don't do drugs, anything like that. I've just described the different things that can happen to him. And on his own, he came and said, I've decided I'm not gonna drink or do drugs. I want to be that kid that's a party kid, but not because I'm drunk or high, I'm the party kid. I don't want to do any of that. And I can be the designated driver. And you know how much anxiety I get. So this way, I know I'm safe driving. So
Perfect.
he just made that on his own without me really stuffing anything in him. They know they're much more, like I said, they're much faster. That's the right word.
They're
They're
very,
much faster.
yeah. To your point, Zoe goes to a great school in our area, and she said, yeah, the kids are smoking. They're, I've seen them do weed. I mean, she was offered, just the other day, and at the mall, again, a teenager approached her friends and say, hey, do you want? And so they were like, no, we're good. So they're making choices. And, although we had the talks and things of that sort, you just have to trust that they're making the right choices. And, if they do stumble or fall or make a choice that we would not normally agree with, is not to scold them harshly, because that's not who they are. It was just a choice that they made at that moment. And they're not the sum of their choice. I mean, you become a sum of your choices, but just one misstep is not a character flaw. And, that's what I've been messaging to Zoe is, a mistake is a mistake, is not who you are. So, and again, modeling behaviors. My 13-year-old, I think she listens to me. I don't know. But what she does see is a modeled behavior. So she sees that, what I do and don't do, what I choose to do with my time, who the company I keep, the ladies that I involve myself with, they're part of book clubs, run clubs, so, they're entrepreneurs, so they're doing great, amazing things. And I let my daughter see that and actually accompany me with that to see, what other, women are doing or other men are doing even, and what a modeled behavior is. And then say, hey, in order to get from point A to point B, you have to say no to distractors or things that will take you off the path. So again, they may not hear you in that moment, or you may feel like they're ignoring you, but believe me, they are soaking it up like a sponge.
Yeah, no, they listen for sure. They
Yeah,
listen.
for sure.
I've done a little bit of the opposite for Ilya, not for me to model bad stuff. Like, I've shown him, it's like, okay, that's a behavior. If you want to go down that path, your
Yeah.
choice. See the result down the line as well. So
Mhm.
Yeah.
whatever you want.
I think we get anxious because we think we are taught that we have to, like, they're empty vessels, and that we have to pour all of our life experience into their life.
Yeah.
But they're not living our life experience
They're
at
not.
all.
Yep.
At all. And Elijah is very good with those boundaries, with telling me, especially now that he's 18, it seems like he discovered his voice. Too far, Mom. I know his auntie over there at Tucson is encouraging this, but too far, Mom.
Yeah.
And the thing that I want to say is that there's an energetic difference between being present and sharing your life experience for what it was to you, and let them get from that what they're going to get from that.
Yeah.
We don't have to be, we're just so afraid for good reason. But the reality is they are going to take in a lot of it when it's time for them to take it up, and they're going to chuck whatever they don't think applies to them. And so for us to believe that we're all powerful, and that we got to get this last drop in before they leave your nest, as mine is about to, is, I think, a fallacy that does us a disservice and does them a disservice. So just you're being present. You're talking with him. You took him to the gay parade. Yay, mom! Angelique is taking her daughter. Girl, I wanted a daughter. In addition to a boy, I wanted a daughter. Taking you with you to these experiences. And Atusa has frank conversations that Elijah would just probably hold the hand up to me. But I'm just saying that the fact that we're here and we're active is going to go so much further than that one detail that we forgot to share, that we think they may not have gotten. They really, Elijah once told me that he learns more in a weird way from my mistakes that I'm trying to hide from him, right? Than from how I did it right. Yeah. And I'm like, touche. Okay. I didn't think it showed. But he needs to be able to see that too. So it's weird that the thing you think you're teaching him, he's actually learning something totally different than what you think you were teaching him. For his
I agree. Yeah. Good stuff. I agree.
It's like therapy for me. I don't know if it's supposed to be, but I agree.
It's for all of us. We just need our wine. That's the only thing.
Exactly. We just need to get together. Yeah, on that note, the one thing that you were mentioning, so I'll tell you this funny story and I'll hand the floor to whoever. With the sex conversation, so Ilya was in, I think, 4th grade when they were talking about it a little bit in school. So, and I remember he was in the car and I said, Ilya, I want to talk to you about sex. And then he started giggling. He's like, Mom. I said, what? Sex is a word, just like any other word. We're just going to sit in the car and both of us going to keep repeating that word until it becomes a normal word for you. Come on, say it with me. Sex, 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 sex. And I had him say it for so long that it just lost this, that, sex, we said the sex word. And he was in 4th grade. And so then time goes by and they had this, the sex at school, that they got a little bit more involved. And he came and told me, he said, Mom, I have to thank you. I said, why? He said, that sex thing that you did in the car with me, I was probably one of the few kids that didn't laugh, didn't giggle, and it was very normal for me. And I told him, I said, yeah, my mom made me just say this word so many times that it lost it. It's just another word now. So that's the other thing. Have fun with your kids. Just be silly, have fun. They'll learn more from that too. We don't have to. Sometimes, like Diana said, mistakes are better teachers than the things we're doing right sometimes. So
maybe we have him on as guests in the future.
Who?
Our kids.
Our kids? Do you think they will join us? Oh my God. I can tell you this much. Yeah, great. Ilya will be like, yeah, Mom, no, not happening.
Mine will be like, I get to be on camera? Yeah.
He likes it. Wow. Oh my God, that's good. Mine just runs away.
It took him a while. I mean, he's older, so.
We'll see. Maybe in 2 years he will, but no, not right now. I mean, for his friends and everything, yeah, but this type of thing, no way. No way.
I think
any last closing remarks, guys, that you guys want to say?
Just thank you to all of you.
Amen. Yeah.
Good.
I get a lot from this.
Yeah, so I think we're back to saying the same thing, most of it that we said last time. It really just comes down, be present, listen. And then, these kids are more aware, just be there, be present, and love them. And you're doing your best if you're doing that.
Yeah. We should be kinder to ourselves. We are super self-critical as moms. And I do think we should be kinder in our heads in that sense. So
I think so. Parents
Yeah.
out there, give yourselves a big hug. Moms, you're doing a great job. Exactly. Number one rule, you want to teach them something, love yourself. Exactly.
Ooh,
Now that's a closing remark.
I think
Hello.
so.
There you go.
Mic drop.
I love you, ladies. Thank you for joining us. And yeah, every month, guys, we're going to air these fourth Tuesday of every month. So join us. And if there are topics that you want us to cover, please go ahead, email any one of us, comment on the videos, and we'll just add them to the show for the next time. Thank you, everybody. Have a good day.
Thank you.
Thank you, ladies.
Bye.
Bye.